Welcome to Rita's Flow Yoga. The practice today is going to be a very grounding practice. It will focus on breath, on strength in the core, in the hips and the shoulders, and even the ankles. This practice has no vinyasas or chaturangas, but ultimately, this practice is about healing. I dedicate this practice today to our medical community who is on the front lines of dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. And also to all of the rest of us who are doing our part to socially distance and socially isolate. So ultimately, this practice is about healing. And the mantra for this practice is, I create a healing environment. I create a healing environment. So we're going to start today on our backs, and I'm going to give you some options. So you can come right down to your back and just keep your knees bent. Or if you have something like a folding chair, I think it would be great if you can get your legs up a little higher so that you could place your legs up on a folding chair as you lay back. Now, the other option that I love is legs up the wall. And that's what I'm going to do today, is start in with legs up the wall. So I'm just going to scooch to the wall, and I'm going to flip my legs around and bring them up the wall. And I'm going to kind of scooch in a little bit. There's a little bit of space between my bum and the wall. And I'm going to lay my hands on top, my right hand on my lower belly, and my left hand a little above that. And I'm going to keep my elbows resting softly on the floor. I'm going to make sure the back of my neck is nice and long. So there's a little chin tuck here. And I'm going to relax my legs. So I let the wall hold my legs, my feet splay open. And we're just going to start to feel our breath here. Notice how you are breathing through your nose. And start to deepen your breath. See if you can start to bring your breath in through the nose. And notice it come in through the nose, down the throat. And see if you can draw it right into the belly so that on the inhale, the belly rises. And on the exhale, noticing the belly lower down. Noticing the breath come out through the nose. Practice that for a few breaths. And then with your next breath, as you inhale, notice the belly rise. See if you can start to notice the belly or the breath expand into your rib cage. Expanding the rib cage outward, upward, and even down into the floor. And on the exhale, the belly lowers and the rib cage moves in towards the center. Follow that pattern for a few breaths. As you inhale and feel the belly rise and the rib cage expand, see if you can pull the breath up even more into the upper lungs. Maybe feeling the collarbones rise. On the exhale, the belly lowers, the rib cage moves towards the spine, and the collarbones move downward. As you're here with this breath, begin to become aware of how your body is making contact with your yoga mat, with the floor. If you have your feet down, or if the feet on the wall, wherever your feet are, notice that contact point of the feet, the contact point of the lower back, where the upper back, the backs of your lungs touch the floor, the backs of the arms, and the back of your head. Relax your face, soften any holding or tension that you have in your facial muscles. And as you're here, come back to that mantra. I create a healing environment. And let this practice be a place where you create for yourself that practice that creates a healing environment. So, with that breath flowing smooth and deep and rhythmic, let's go ahead and start to make your way down. So, if you have your feet on your wall, we're just going to come back to our mat. Or if you have your, and I'm rolling to the side to come out of the feet up the wall. If you have that chair, move that chair out of the way. And just make your way, kind of stay low and make your way once again to your back with your knees bent. Center yourself on your mat. Keep your knees bent, your feet planted down to the floor. Feel the feet pushing down into the floor. Find that breath once again, full and deep and rich and rhythmic, inhaling and exhaling. Now let's begin to add some movement to that breath. So on your next inhale, just take your hands, your arms, and begin to sweep them forward and then up. Reach them up towards the sky. Exhale, sweep them back down, palms facing down. If it's okay on your shoulders, inhale, sweep them up, and begin to sweep them over. If you can land them back on the mat, that's great. If not, no worries. Go as far as you can. On the exhale, sweep them back down. Inhale, sweeping them up. Feel the expansion and notice if you can breathe more fully into that rib cage and exhale. As you begin to exhale now, start to push the belly down, that belly button down to the mat, making that lower back nice and flat. Do that again, inhaling. And exhaling. Push the belly into the mat. Keep the arms down by the side now. And on your next inhale, pelvic tilt the hips up and begin to press in the feet and lift the hips up slightly. Exhale, lower them down. Lay the spine back to the floor. So press into the feet to do this. Use your legs. Inhale, lift up. Maybe you go a little higher. And exhale, lay the spine back down, ripple it down from the middle all the way down. Again, inhale, lift it up. So press into the feet, use your legs, come up maybe a little higher. Exhale, ripple the spine back down. Now we're going to add both of those movements, the arms and the hips. Inhale, sweep the arms up, lift the hips up. Exhale, ripple the spine back down, upper, middle, lower. Sweep the hands, the arms down alongside the torso. Let's do that a few more breaths. Inhaling. And exhale. Try to lift the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae. Tuck that tail, pull the lower spine forward, press into the legs. Legs are strong. Exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale. This time, keep your hips up if it's comfortable for you, and exhale, sweep the arms up and back down along the torso, staying in this bridge pose. Feel your feet connecting with the earth and really press down. And now feel your legs like they're pushing together, even though they don't move. And make sure that you're pulling your tailbone long towards your knees. If you want, you can take your arm and tuck it underneath the shoulder, one arm at a time, and interlace the hands, or just press the palms and the forearms down to the earth. Make sure your neck is long and try not to turn your head side to side. Tuck your chin, lift the chest, take a couple breaths here. Feel your butt cheeks. You're squeezing them, right? Those are your glutes. You're squeezing them. Breathing. And then go ahead and untuck those arms from underneath the shoulders. And on your exhale, lay that spine down, vertebrae by vertebrae, top, middle, lower. Awesome. Let's go ahead and just open your feet up a little bit wider. Bring your knees together. Bring your palms facing up and take a couple breaths here. Big and full. Inhaling and exhaling. Soften the face on the exhale. Soften the belly. Soften the lower back. Soften the legs. Again, breathe. And exhale. Let's bring your knees back up to hip width apart. Walk your feet into hip width apart. We're going to start with our right knee. Take your right knee and pull it into your chest. Interlace the hands over the top of the shin. And then you can keep your leg, your left leg, with the knee bent, foot down, or if it's okay on your spine, you can just start to extend it forward and down the mat. Now, make sure that you are feeling your belly. And one little adjustment that I love to do is to take your right sit bone or your right hips and see if you can sort of make your right side body long by pushing that sit bone away. It's a nice little adjustment on the lower back and the hips. And then you can keep that, or go ahead and lift the leg up, push the belly down, really, really feel that belly and the lower back flatten to the earth. You can stay here engaging these areas, or if you want, go ahead and lift the chest up. Now notice the head, there's a tendency to pull the neck up. And so sometimes if you just pull the chin down towards the throat and look down the nose, that can help. So you don't want to put strain on the neck. Keep pushing down. And then lastly, if you want, reach the hands forward. Take a couple breaths, big and full. Squeeze the belly down. One more breath. Squeeze the belly down. On the exhale, I'm going to bring my hands back to the top of the shin, lay my torso down, bring my leg down, bend back into that left knee a little bit, take that right leg, and we're just going to take the left hand to the outside of that right knee, and I'm going to start to bring it across the body. As you do this, if you want to straighten the left leg, that's cool. And notice the hip starts to rise and sort of stack a little bit. So you don't have to get the right knee to the floor. You can let it hang out. In fact, I'm holding that leg a little bit with my wrist. I'm going to make sure my spine is long, reaching my head up towards the top of the mat. And I'm going to open my right arm like a wing. So a little twist. You don't need to go deep into this twist. We're not real warmed up yet. So just feel what you're feeling. Take your breath to those areas of sensation. Inhale, breath down to maybe your glutes or your hips or your lower spine. And with your exhale now, let it just go out through your mouth with a sigh. One more time, big breath in. And big sigh out. Let the belly soften as you go. Let the hips soften a little bit. Now to come back to center, engage into your lower abs, pull them in and start to roll back slowly to center. Bring your left knee in as well and give yourself a little side to side. Feel the massage on your lower spine. Let's do the other side. So I'm going to keep my left knee pulled in, and I'm going to extend my right leg forward. You can keep that knee bent. If it's okay on your spine, go ahead, extend it down. And then as I squeeze that left knee in, it's a stretch all to itself. Go ahead and take that left sit bone and see if you can push it away or push it down to the bottom of the mat. So you make your left side body a little bit longer in doing this. So you can keep that engaged and then add to it, if it's okay, a little lift of the right leg up a few inches off the earth, push the belly down, start to really engage into those abs, and then lift the heart up towards the ceiling. Notice how you're holding your head, maybe gaze down that nose, and just really focus on pushing the belly down. Lastly, if you want, release the hands along the side. So anywhere along this route is good. Work to where it's right for you. And the way that you can tell is your breath flowing rich and deep? Squeeze that belly down. Go ahead, hands on top of the leg, lay the head down. Lay the right leg down, keep that left knee bent. Right hand to the outside of that left knee, and slowly start to bring it over to the right side. Extend that left arm out like it's your wing. Again, you don't have to have that knee touch the floor. I'm sort of supporting my left leg with my right hand a little bit. And I'm going to start to really breathe into what I'm feeling here. Inhale. Exhale, let the body release and soften. Big breath in. Soften, release, exhale out. Soften through the shoulders. One more time. Now to come back to center, make sure you engage into your lower belly. Roll back to center. Go ahead, take the other knee up, the right knee up as well, and give yourself that side to side. Feel the massage in the lower back. So from here, we're going to take a happy baby. So with my knees bent, I'm going to first open up my knees and my shins wider than my torso. I'm going to keep my knees bent and bring my feet up towards the ceiling. Knees remain bent. And I'm going to go ahead and take my arms and bring them on the inside of the legs. I'm going to use my elbows on the inside of my knees to push them away. So this is external rotation that we're getting on our hips, on the legs. And I'm going to take my hands and reach inside my legs, grabbing my ankles. So some of you that don't have, some of you are able to grab the outsides of the feet. A lot of times when people do that, I see them lift the tailbone up. I want to keep the tail rooted to the floor. So maybe gripping on the inside of the legs. And sometimes we need to grip down lower the leg, to down lower towards the knee, and that's fine too. And you can still keep pushing your knees out. So wherever you are, that's cool. Find your place. And then as you're here, we're going to work the ankles. So I'm just going to do ankle rolls. And I'm going to do them really, really slow. And as I do them, I'm really focusing on my full range of motion in my ankles. So a lot of times people like to do this really fast. And what I'm asking is that you slow down and sort of feel like how much can I invert or bring the soles of my feet together? And then how much can I flex? How much can I point? And then how much can I bring the lateral edges of my feet to the outside? So I generally do this. I try to do this every day, and I do about 10 of these ankle rolls in each direction. So go ahead and switch directions, noticing your full range of motion. Now, as you're doing this, you start to feel that the muscles down the shins, the calves, the sides of your legs, the insides of your legs. And if you're doing it, you can feel that these muscles get a little tired. Awesome. Go ahead, release all of this. Bring your knees back to center. Give yourself a little side to side. And we're going to roll over to the side and then push yourself up. So we're going to come to a seated position. Take just a moment here. Use your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep noticing that breath. Come back to your mantra. I create a healing environment. From here, we're going to go to our hands and knees. So I'm just going to come on around and I'm going to set up table pose. So I'm going to take my wrists and bring them directly underneath my shoulders, but I'm going to open my hands up just a little bit wider. So you can think inside edge of your hand lining up with the outside edge of your shoulders. And then I'm going to set my knees up hip width apart, knees directly underneath my hips. And we're just going to take this into some spinal movement, cat-cow curls. Exhale, squeeze the belly up, round the spine, tuck the chin in, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, arch the spine. So the belly button falls to the floor, the chin comes up, the sit bones reach up. And then connect that movement with your breath. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, arching. Back and forth. And you can take this into any organic movement that feels good on your spine. So spinal undulation, I often teach, starting with your tailbone and rounding the spine. The last thing comes in is your chin. And then go back to your tailbone and start to lift it and arch the spine, just ripple it all the way up. Last thing that comes up is your chin. Go back and forth. So you can do this, or you can do the cat-cows, or again, any movement in the spine that you like to do to get your spine moving. Come back to that neutral position. Let's open our knees a little bit wider and then shift those hips back. Walk the hands forward. If your hips don't reach your heels, no worries. If your head doesn't reach the floor, no worries. You can always take a block underneath your forehead. Feel the rich breath. Exhale out. Release any tension, worries out through the mouth. Let the earth absorb it. Rise back up into table. So firm belly. Lift up from that belly. Come back into table position. Set that table up. And then go ahead. We're going to take the right leg, and we're going to extend it back. Keep the toes on the floor, tuck your toes under, and just breathe into the opening on the back of that right leg. Notice your belly, pull it up. Notice your shoulders, press them back. And then from here, trying to keep your hips level, just go ahead and lift the leg off the earth, keeping the hips level. So it doesn't have to be real high. Push the ball of the foot back like you're trying to reach a wall back there. And then if you want, go ahead and add the left fingertips reaching forward. So it's okay to wobble here. We get to use all those subtle muscles, stabilizer muscles, if you're wobbling or not. And reach those left fingertips really long, like you're trying to reach a wall in front of you. And then extend fingertips, ball of the foot back. Notice your belly and your spine. Keep pulling it into the center line. Exhale. Left hand goes down, right knee goes down. Soften things maybe a little. Come back to that table. Set everything up. Tuck the left toes under. Breathe into the opening on the back of that left leg. Lift that leg up. Try to keep your hips level. Notice how you're holding your head. There's a tendency for the head to fall in. Pull the chin back towards the throat. I often call it chubby double chin is my cue. And then take your right fingertips and reach them forward. Try to get as much length as you can from fingertips to the ball of the foot. Notice your head placement. Notice your torso. Pull in. Lengthen out. Awesome. Exhale. Right hand goes down. Left knee goes down. Beautiful. Let's just do in between of our next movement, do a downward facing dog. So I'm just going to walk my hands forward just a little bit. And remember, their inside edge of the hands are in line with the outside edge of the shoulders. I'm going to open my fingers up. I'm going to really press down into those fingertips, tuck my toes under, lift up from the belly. So the belly is going to really be strong. Lift up, lift the hips up, broaden through the shoulders, and just feel that first downward facing dog. So the heels, they may be lifted. That's fine. Don't force it down. Maybe sway the hips, bend the knees. Just take a couple breaths here. Go ahead. Let's place our knees back down. Awesome. So from here, I'm going to do some hip mobilization and strengtheners moves. I call it hip risers. So I'm in table. I'm going to make sure that I'm setting up my shoulders correctly here. And my head, I'm not dropping it down, but pulling chin back into the throat. My belly is firm. And I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to reach it out once again, like bird dog. And for me, I like to tuck my left toes under because that helps to stabilize me. But you don't have to do that. You can also press the top of the foot down. So whatever works for you. On my inhale, I'm going to start to lift my right hip up and stack it on top of my left hip. Now I'm pulling my belly in as I'm doing this, and I'm still doing that reaching motion like bird dog where I'm trying to reach it really long. And then trying to keep the foot in the same place, I'm going to bring the hip back to the center line and then drop it down, right hip lower, and try to squeeze it in a little bit, but I'm still trying to hold my foot in the same place. And we do that back and forth. Inhale, open the hip up, right hip stacks. Exhale, bring it back and drop it down and squeeze it in. See if you can do that a couple times. Awesome. Come back to that neutral position. Drop the knee down. Walk the hands forward, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes under, feet are hip width. Inhale, lift the hips up. This time, reach your sit bones up.
So the knees, they may be slightly bent, and that's cool. They don't have to straighten. Really press into your fingertips. Broaden through your shoulders. And even here, chubby double chin or pull the chin back. Take a couple breaths. Beautiful. Exhale, knees come back down. Walk the hands forward. So I do this modification where I use fists. So that's for my wrists. If you have issues with your wrists, you can do the same thing, or keep your hands down, fingers, palms, fingers opened up, palms, fingertips pressing down. Let's do the left leg on the hip risers. Go ahead, extend that left leg outward. Notice that you're not collapsing through the spine here at all. So pull the belly in, take everything to the center line, the belly, the sides of the body, and even your back sort of pulling in. Let's inhale, lift left hip on top of right. Exhale, bring it down. Drop left hip a little bit lower. Sort of squeeze those upper thighs together. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, drop it down. Try to keep the foot generally in the same place. And I say that because it's really easy to start swinging the leg around in different ways as you do this. So try to just keep it pressing into the same spot. Inhale, lifting the hip up. Exhale, dropping it down. Come back to that center line. Exhale, bring the knee down. Let's go ahead and take child's pose. Open those knees up. Shift the hips back. Drop the head down. Big breath in. Letting go, breath out through the mouth. Soften everything downward. Inhale. And it's a release. Awesome. Let's rise back up into table. Bring your knees back. And from here, we're going to actually come up into a standing position. So from table, go ahead and take your left foot, step it up. Take your right foot, step it up. So now you're in a forward fold. The knees are bent. Just let the upper torso kind of hang over those legs. Feel the feet press down into the earth. Release the neck here. Soften the knees. We're going to rise up to standing, vertebrae by vertebrae. Pull into your lower belly. So really strengthen those lower belly muscles. And then start to just roll. So you can walk the hands up the legs. Take your time. The last thing that comes up is the head. Bring it on up. Open those shoulders up. Bring the arms alongside the body. Awesome. I'm going to just turn to face you. Set your feet up, hip width apart. You can even look down at the feet. And then notice the shoulder girdle and see if you can place it over the pelvic girdle. Right? Pull the belly in. Press into the feet. Bring the arms alongside the body. Pull the chin back into the throat. Notice the crown of the head lift. Find your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Come back to that mantra. I create a healing environment. Awesome. As you press down into the earth, let's inhale, sweep the arms out, reach them long, bring them up towards the ceiling,
Bring the gaze up, look up, exhale, sweep the hands back down. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, sweep it out and up. Gaze up. Exhale, sweep it back down. So from here, I think it might be easiest if I do this turned around, because I don't use my language to mirror what you're seeing. So you can kind of do the same side with me here. So I'm going to take my hands to my waist, and I'm going to take my left foot and I'm going to step it over my right. I'm going to inhale, sweep my hands up. I'm going to grab with my right hand, grab my left wrist and take a little side bend. Actually, I'm going to do that the opposite direction. Sometimes I have to do it to figure it out. Sorry, I'm going to take my left hand, grab my right wrist, and take a little side bend to the left. So as I do this, I want to pop my right hip to the right. And I'm pulling to the left, okay? So you want to feel your IT band here. So once you kind of figure that out and get that set up, we're going to take the foot, step it back over, come to center, and step it back again. And just do that a couple of times. The weight is in the right foot. And see if you can start to feel the stretch along the IT band on the right side as you pop that right hip back. Do that one more time, stepping forward and back. And then step it over and let's hold this one. Feel the weight in the right foot, feel the right hip press, pull over to the left, and feel the opening along the whole right lateral side of your body. Inhale, let's come back to center. Sweep the hands back down. Inhale, sweep the hands back up. So this time, I'm going to take my right foot, step it over the left, right hand grabs left wrist, left hip pops over, pulling that wrist over to the right. We're going to step back and forth. See if you can start to feel the engagement of that IT band. Make sure you don't lock that left knee back completely. There's a little micro bend in that left knee. Go ahead, let's just hold this. Feel the stretch along the IT band or that racing stripe on the left side of your leg, and feel the opening on the right side. Let's come back through to center. Pop that right foot down, sweep the hand down. Find your breath. Feel your feet rooted down. Really engage into the feet. The next pose we're going to do is called tuned up Tadasana, standing pose here. So feel your feet really pressing strongly into the earth. And now what I want you to do is start to think of pulling to the center, although your legs are actually not going to move at all. So think about the inner ankles, the inside of the legs, inner ankles pull together, pull the knees together, pull your thighs together. Keep all of that engagement, like you're trying to squeeze it all together through your legs. And then take your outside edges of your legs and pretend like you're trying to rip them away from each other. So if I were to actually do it, the leg would come out to the side, but I'm not. I'm going to keep pulling into the center and now engage outside ankles outward, the knees outward, and the thighs outward, right? Feel your butt cheeks clenching here. And now we're going to add kicking forward. So see if you can feel the legs reaching forward. Now you're going to pretend like you're kicking the legs back. So you're engaging outward. So everything is engaged. The inner muscles, the outer muscles, forward, back. It's strong. You're pressing to the feet. You're squeezing your glutes. You're breathing. Exhale, release it down. Relax it all down. Feel the stabilization of the feet pressing into the earth. Find a couple breaths. We're going to do that again, and we'll start to add on the upper core. So once again, start to press down into the feet. So pulling into the center line is called adduction. Pressing outward is called abduction, but we're keeping the inner press as well. So start adding the outer press, and then kicking forward like we're doing a pike, and then reaching back like you're trying to kick back behind you. All of that is engaged. Now come to the center, feel your belly pull in, feel your sides pull in a little bit, your back, we call this a tubular core. And that now soften your shoulders down, still engaged through here, chubby double chin, lengthen up. And then one last thing, take your fists, squeeze them, and everything squeezed. Use your breath still here. And then go ahead, exhale, release it. Find your deep breathing. Beautiful. Let's just start to add some shoulder circles, shrugging the shoulders back and forward and up and down, and then do it the other way. And then to get all that range of motion, we're just going to go ahead, reach the arms up, take your fingertips, bring them to your shoulders. And then do the same circles with your elbows. And see, just initially, just get the motion of moving your elbows into a circle. And then as you do this, see if you can create a really big circle as much as you can. So you're squeezing your scaps together, and then you're lifting your elbows up. And then see if maybe you can get your elbows together in the front. Notice the rounding in the back as you do that one. So this movement helps you to get the full range of motion in your shoulders. Once you do this, circle it in the opposite directions. Really feel the squeeze. And see if you can connect your breath with this. And then notice how you're holding your torso. And see if you can create a tubular core while you do this, pulling to the center line. And then notice how you're holding your head. Hold the chin back, chubby double chin. Lift through the crown of the head. Beautiful. Go ahead, release the hands. Soften the arms beside the body. Deepen the breath. So lastly, we're going to do a shoulder strengthener. So from here, I'm just going to take my arms and pretend like I'm resting on a ledge. And the ledge is the same height as my shoulders. So resting on the ledge, I'm going to take and grip. So I'm going to turn my hands opposite and grip my fingers. And then from here, resting on that ledge, I'm going to start to pull. So with my right grip, I'm going to pull strongly, like this is really heavy, and I have to work really hard to pull this left arm to the right. And then like I'm stirring a pot, I'm going to bring it back and around towards center. And now with my left hand, I'm going to pull towards the left. I'm going to bring it in. As I come back to center, I'm going to pull with the right strongly. And I'm going to get the feel for that motion and start to go a little faster. So as you do this and you're engaging through your arms, your shoulders, your upper back, you can start to feel your muscles working. And they become fatigued after you do this for a little while. I'm going to come through to center, pull them apart strong, release it, rest it down. Take a big breath in, a big breath out. Let's bring it back up to that ledge. We're going to grip the opposite way. So
One way feels comfortable, the other way might feel a little weird. I'm going to do it the other way, and I'm going to start to stir the pot the other direction. But the same idea. Really strong through the arms, through the shoulders. Connect your breath. Notice that you have a tubular core and that you're not pulling your head forward to do this. Chubby double chin. Come back through to center. Release the hands down. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Gaze goes up. This time on the exhale, I'm going to soften the knees and I'm just going to hinge forward. Stay in that forward fold, knees are bent. I'm just going to turn face the other direction. Make sure the head's released. Take a couple of breaths. Exhale it out. And then let's roll back up to standing once again. So bend into those knees, pull into that lower belly. Maybe you can add a little perineum lift. You can either walk the hands up the legs or arms are hanging, head is hanging, belly pulling in, vertebrae by vertebrae coming up. Last thing that comes up is that head. Take your right leg, step it back, face the long side of your mat. Your feet should be your leg width or a little tighter, whatever's comfortable for you. I'm going to splay my toes out and I'm going to start to bend into my knees. I'm going to come back to that tubular core, come back to chubby double chin, and then bring my arms up into goalposts. So from here, I'm just going to pull my elbows back, squeeze my scapulas, my shoulder blades together. I'm going to come back to goalposts, arms. I'm going to just touch my ears a little bit. I'm working my legs here by bending those knees and then pushing my knees to the wall behind me. So we're working external rotation in the hips. And on my exhale, I'm just going to squeeze my right side. Elbow comes down. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, other side. Couple breaths back and forth right here. One more time each side. Maybe you can go a little deeper. Awesome. Come back, arms come down, come back, the torso to center. If you want, go ahead, start to straighten the legs. This feels pretty good. Rotate the feet facing forward, and we're going to take a forward fold, wide-legged forward fold with the shoulder opener. Lift the shoulders up, squeeze the scaps together, interlace the hands behind you. If this doesn't work, you can always grab the wrists. And then press your shoulders down. Plug the feet into the earth. Chubby double chin. Inhale, lift, look up, lift the sternum up. On the exhale, soft knees, forward fold. Let the head hang free. Never force this in the shoulders. Just let the arms fall over the head to your degree. And find a couple breaths. Let gravity release your spine, your head, your arms. Inhale, firm belly. Come up part way. Release your hands down to your waist. On your next inhale, rise back up. Splay the toes once again. Slide the hands down the legs. Bend into those knees. We're going to take the right shoulder down, left shoulder up, lengthen the heart forward. And then come back through to center and do the other side. Left shoulder down, right shoulder up, little twist through the spine, lengthen the heart, the crown of the head forward. So can do this back and forth with your breath. It should feel really good here. Awesome. Come back through to center. From here, I'm going to bring the torso up, but I'm going to heel toe the feet in together. I'm going to splay my toes out a little bit, and I'm going to start to come down into a squat. Now, your squat may be, something like this. The hips are shooting back, the feet are splayed open, and you can stay right here. Or if you can come down further, a lot of times this is where people like to grab a block, and you can support yourself with a block as you come down and place your bottom on the block. If you don't need the block, if you're dealing with any ankle tightness or issues here, a block is great as you start to get more mobility in your ankles. But if possible, the block can come out. The heels might remain up or not. It's okay. Hands together, elbows inside the knees, lift the crown of the head up. Take a couple breaths here. Love squat, great for the ankles, the knees, the hips, the spine. And then let's go ahead and take a seat. So I'm going to bring my hands down. I'm going to support myself as I lower my bottom down. I'm just going to face the front of the mat, bring my legs forward. So notice how you're sitting. See if you can roll forward your on your sit bones a little bit and lift up through the heart, through the crown of the head. I'm going to take my right foot, the sole of my right foot, and bring it inside my left thigh so that my knee opens up to the side. And then from my waist, I'm just going to do a little twist, lift up through the spine so that on my exhale, I can lengthen down the left leg. Now, I'm not trying to get really low and round forward. I just want to create a long spine and a lengthening towards that left foot. My left leg is still a little bit active, and I'm reaching my heart towards my left foot. My hands are on the floor. So I'm sort of engaging my hands down. So I'm using my hands to traction my heart forward. Couple breaths. Inhale, the heart comes up. Walk the hands up towards the torso. Keep all that spinal length so you keep the heart lifted. And then let's bring the right knee up. I'm going to open the foot up a little bit wider. I'm going to adjust my sit bones so they're nice and level. I'm going to wrap my arms around. And as I squeeze in, so maybe the foot comes in a little bit more, as I squeeze that knee in, I'm going to use that squeezing to try to pull length, squeeze out length through my spine. And I'm going to keep all that beautiful length. Take the left arm, wrap it a little bit more, pull the belly in, take the right hand behind, gaze off that right shoulder. Lift up through the crown of the head. Breathe in and out, keeping all of that lift. Breathing into that twist. Keep that left leg active. So the inhale gets more length, more lift through the crown. Keep all of that. Exhale, unwind. Yeah, let's go for the other side. Right leg forward, the sole of the left foot, pull it on in, sole of the left foot inside of that right leg, little twist. Exhale, lengthen that heart down the right leg. Keep that right foot leg active. Hands are down on the earth, tractioning down, and like I'm trying to pull towards me, but the hands never move. And then I take the heart and I reach it towards that right leg. Noticing the breath. Taking the breath into the areas that you feel here. Maybe the back of the right leg, maybe your lower back. Inhale, torso comes back up, hands walk back up. Left knee, bring it on up. Situate your sit bones evenly. Open up and wrap those arms around that left knee. Give yourself some love. Give yourself a hug here. Squeeze in, lift up. Keep all that lift. Right arm wraps deeper. Pull the belly in, left hand behind, gaze off left shoulder. Right leg active. Breath. Deep, rich, rhythmic. Keep all that lift. Let's go ahead and unwind back to front. Beautiful. So from here, just going to bring my bum forward. I'm going to grab behind my thighs and lower myself down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Have a block handy here. Walk the feet forward. So if you have a block, you can use a block. We're just going to do restorative shoulder stand. So you have options here. If you don't have a block, you can just pull the knees in and bring your legs up towards the ceiling. If you have a block, you're going to bring your feet down, press into the feet to lift the hips and slide the block underneath the sacrum or the flat part of that lower back. Go ahead and make sure that you're nice and stable, pulling one knee in and then the other. And then bring those feet up towards the ceiling. The arms alongside the torso, palms upward. If you want to do full shoulder stand here, this is your opportunity. You could also go back to legs up the wall. So as you're here, find your breath once again, deep and full. Soften the face, soften the belly. Go back to your mantra. I create a healing environment. I create a healing environment. So from here, we're going to start to bring it down right into our last pose of the class, Shavasana, or resting pose. So if you're in that full shoulder stand, start to bring yourself down now to the position where your lower back is down on the earth. For the rest of us, whether you have a block or not, I want you to start to really kind of feel the legs softening and releasing any tension. So slowly my knees are starting to bend here. And I'm feeling the weight of the legs, and I'm slowly letting the legs, the knees come forward towards my torso. So if you have that block, go ahead and very slowly start to bring the feet down, maybe 1 foot at a time. Once the feet land, you have to do a little engagement here, pulling the belly in, pressing the feet into the earth, lifting just enough to slide the block out, and then slowly lay the spine all the way down. So once the bottom lands, let the belly soften, feel the little space in the lower back, the little
arch of the lower spine. And then very slowly start to work your right foot down towards your right corner of your mat. And then your left foot, the left leg straightens down to the left corner. Take your right shoulder blade and lift it up a little bit so that you can tuck it just a little underneath to flatten that shoulder blade down and roll that right arm open. And do the same thing with the left side. Left shoulder lifts, shoulder blade flat, soften the shoulder down away from the ear. And then notice your head and just roll it side to side a little bit and center it so that the spine, the neck, the cervical spine is in alignment with the rest of your spine. And then take that chin and pull it down slightly so the back of the neck is long. One last time, take a big breath in, fill the lungs, exhale out through the mouth. Do that again, big breath in. As you release it out this time, just let the softening and the releasing expand outward, down towards the legs, the arms, the feet, the belly. And very gently allow your breathing to come back to its normal pattern. Feeling the breath moving in through the nostrils, soft and gentle, and then exhaling out. Do a scan of your body, starting with your feet, noticing the backs of the heels on the earth, and noticing any tension or holding in your right leg and your left leg. Allow for your exhale breath to release and soften these areas. Moving up the body, being aware of your right butt cheek and your left butt cheek. Being aware of the pressing of your bottom into the earth. And being aware of the softening of your lower belly. Notice the rise of the belly on the inhale. And notice the softening and the lowering of the belly on your exhale. Be aware of the little arch in the lower spine. And come to the awareness of the back of your lungs pressing down. Inhale, heart, rib cage lifts. Heart and rib cage soft. Exhale. Be aware of the right arm, the back of the right arm, back of the right palm. Be aware of the left arm, the back of the left arm, the back of the left palm. Bring your awareness to the upper shoulders, to the back of the head heavy, pressing down to the earth. Smooth out your forehead. Notice your eyelids heavy. Cheek and jaw soft. Tongue released from the top of the mouth. Come to the attention, the noticing, the awareness, softly. of the inhale coming in and the exhale moving out. Stay here. Stay here gently with that awareness of the breath. Moving in and moving out. Just for another minute or so. Very gently begin to bring your awareness back to that breathing. Start to deepen the breath a little bit more now. Inhale and exhale. Inhale the breath in a little deeper. On the exhale, bring that awareness down to your fingers, wiggling your fingers, down to your toes, wiggling your toes. Next inhale, if it feels good, reach the arms up overhead and reach the feet long. So a little stretch, hands and feet reaching. On your exhale, bring the arms down to the torso, bend your knees. And then make your way to your side body and roll right over to your side body. Take your time. Just soften here on the side for a moment. And then using that upper arm and that upper hand, press it into the floor and press yourself up into a seated posture. So hopefully you have your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed as you do this. Make your way up into a seat. Find your seat, find your sit bones. Press them down, lift up through the heart. Spine lengthened, pull your chin back. And then open your shoulders. Just bring your scaps together slightly so that you feel grounded, lengthened, and opened. And just take a moment to notice what you've created in your practice. Go ahead, take a great big inhale in. Exhale the breath out. One more time, big full inhale in. And exhale it out. We bring our hands to our heart center and we say namaste. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Take that mantra forward off your mat. I create a healing environment as we all work together at this time. Thank you.